Hey, this is Doug. It's Thursday, December 7th. Just an update on this fourplex. So still planning on closing on December 18th. Just trying to make that happen. Been up, it's about 10:30 in the morning, been up working on this already. Lots of details and logistics. One of the things the lender required was an operating agreement for my LLC. So the LLC is buying this property. And I'd had this in the works with my attorney, and I'd like my wife and I both to have equal shares, and that, she would get the full, if either one of us pass, the other one would have full ownership of it. And, but that also, if I make her also a managing member, she would need to be at the closing, and she doesn't really have any interest in doing that. So basically, I had to kind of go back and forth with the attorney a couple of times to make sure I got this right. And I've got to get a signed copy of this both back to the attorney and to the lender. So then, of course, it was misspelled. The name of the LLC was misspelled in the agreement. So I had, signed it, scanned it, sent it around, and of course then we noticed that it's misspelled, so I had to do that twice, but the attorney's been reacting really quickly, so that's been awesome. Next thing is an inspection. So I've hired an inspector. I don't really, I'm not planning on retrading or renegotiating the purchase price on this. I think I understand the property pretty well, but I would, frankly, it's worth it to me to have somebody who's really prepared and has a checklist to do things like crawl in the crawl space and take pictures and document thoroughly, right, and formally what's going on. I can do that work, but it is a little ways away from me. And, a second set of eyes for somebody who does it frequently, and that's all they do all day long is inspect properties. I think it's really worthwhile. Been back and forth with him on scheduling, and one of the confusions with this property is it's a fourplex. It's on one lot, but when you go look this property up on a Zillow or Redfin or Realtor or whatever, it looks, just the way those listings are on, for instance, Zillow, is it looks like a single property. And then they might do something like take all the square footage from the building, right? So this is set up as two buildings with each building is a duplex, right? So I think the way it's put in Zillow is it's kind of got the square footage of one of the buildings. And so I said, well, it's a fourplex. So he multiplied that square footage by 4, which was really like it's an 8-plex. And so his first quote was kind of crazy. And also my property manager pointed out that, a lot of this we're planning on gutting anyway. So it's not, how should I say, this is not like an inspection that's going to be for Mr. and Mrs. Smith who are going to live in the place for the purpose of renegotiating the contract price. This is more for me to know if there's any glaring problems, or for instance, I'd really like to know how the HVAC, only one of the 4 units has an HVAC. I'd like to see how it was done, the ductworks in the ceiling, so that I can kind of duplicate that or know what I'm up against when we go to put HVAC in the other units. There's some structural, potential structural issues maybe underneath. So again, for someone to crawl under there and take some video and take some pictures and put it in a document that I can go back and refer to is really helpful. And certainly, I'd like to develop I haven't used this inspector before. He has some unique capabilities, so I'd really like to develop the relationship. And but I am a little bit different than Mr. and Mrs. Smith buying a home that they're going to live in. So after talking with him, I made him a list of things that I would love to see in the document, and it has things like of the electrical panel, especially for the one that has the HVAC, what you know, what did they do to the electrical panel? Is there a sub panel? Is there, you know, what kind of a circuit is that run on? And did it look like it was difficult to do? Right? I haven't looked at that. Frankly, I don't know where the water heaters are in this property. I'm kind of surprised I haven't. I didn't look for them before, but I only had a couple of minutes in each one before, so just didn't think to look. So there's some things I'd like the inspector to take, you know, a close look at and document. So the communication has been a little bit tough with this because, you know, there's 4 tenants and they're going to be inconvenienced for the inspector to come through. And of course the property manager has been coordinating that. So she's great. So that will occur Monday. So it is now Thursday. That'll occur Monday. So, let's see. Oh, insurance. So the other thing that has happened is I was planning on using a certain insurance agency, and my lender needs some specific things. They require specific items. So in particular, you know, I was going to use State Farm, and the policy they were quoting me could not do a non-occupied. So it was required that it be occupied. And of course, while it's under construction, it will not be occupied. And so also I need some liability insurance during the construction. So I had that quoted, it was all teed up, it was all ready to go, and of course it won't work. So I'm being referred to an insurer by the lender, and the lender knows that this insurer can do the right thing. So this is it makes me a little bit nervous, you know, and you know, this is the point in time when I'm very committed to this project, and I'll buy whatever insurance they quote me effectively, because I've got to close in 10 days, and this is the insurance that I need, and you know, and it's what the underwriters need. Underwriters need. So I need to get them this stuff, and they need to have it before they sit down and underwrite it. So anyway, it's you know, this is kind of you know, there's no point of no return. How can I get it done as quickly as possible? So another thing was just my ability to wire funds. I happen to be using a new community bank for this business. So I have an operating account through which I'll do this project, and so that'll be the account where the down payment, the closing costs will all come through that. As I'm doing the project, I'll be paying contractors and buying appliances and things like that, and then I will be getting. So I'll be paying out of that account, but then the lender will be giving me construction draws, so they'll be depositing in that account. So I'm just making sure that that money can flow through, and my attorney requires a wire transfer of these funds. So you know, I haven't done it before with this bank, so I've been messaging and just ensuring that I can do what I need to do, and that the money can flow appropriately at closing day. So coming up, I got the appraisal Monday, the inspection. So the lender also required an inspection, and I think this inspector is coming. It's an in-house inspector. It's the lender's inspector, and I think he's coming from a ways away. The scheduling of that has been back and forth, and we'd like to not inconvenience the tenants. So we're trying to get that to happen on the same day as the inspection, right? So that the appraiser has access to all the units, and the inspector has access to all the units at the same time. So you know, there's only one morning, and hopefully that's Monday morning, where those tenants will be there to see the tenants, or the property manager will be there just to let them in and keep an eye on them while they were doing these things. Any lenders' concerns, I'm just kind of on deck with that. They're kind of the point at which something could go wrong. So I want to make sure they have everything they need. There is some concern maybe my wife will have to go and be at the closing to do the signature, but they're gonna let me know. Termite inspection. So that was something I forgot about, and both the property manager and the attorney's office kind of had that on their checklist. So property manager is going to arrange for that through one of her contacts. And I'm starting to think about kind of a project plan. So I've already created a Google Calendar where I'm putting events into that calendar for this, so that they show up on my daily calendar. But also I like to have something visual, and really with this kind of work, it's a lot of checklists and remember to do this sort of work. And I think it is very dynamic, right? So, I used to be in software and project management, so I think I might just use GitHub projects for this, and there won't be any, there won't be any source code, but they do have kind of a nice Kanban board, and you can kind of look at it with several views, and it's really great for just like typing in, and I can do it on my phone, type in something that needs to be done just there, and then kind of move it to in progress or move it to, completed, and just be able to see what's the next kind of thing that needs to be done, more of an agile project management. So I think that's going to be perfect for this. And so, yeah, I'm familiar with GitHub projects, and I've used that before for software. So I think I'll just do it that way. I'll let you know how it works. And yeah, I think I've got everything for today. Still more stuff to do today, of course, but now I just have to keep on top of it.